Well, you know what wasn't fake is when Mike Tyson punched that dude on the plane. Now that right there was not staged. Or do you think that was staged too?
I don't know. I seen it, but like it was one of those things where. But even Mike.
Did you see that dude's face afterwards? He was all bloody and everything.
Yeah, I seen it.
That was not fake blood.
Mike's been talked about his whole life, aggravated his whole life. People have done this whole life to Mike.
All right.
Like that, like when it comes to like boxers like that,
Mike has a temper. Okay.
Yeah, but
Mike has a temper. In fact, when we interviewed him, being Zab Judah did an interview with Mike Tyson, he talked about that. Remember once, the whole rape thing, once he got out of prison, someone ended up rear-ending his car and he got out and beat the dude up. They had to go back to jail again.
Oh, that's
over that shit. Yeah, people forget about that story. But I remember my personal experience with Mike was, Zab Judah did the interview with Mike, but then I asked if I can come and ask a few questions afterwards, and Mike was like, cool. Me and Mike were hanging out before. He was telling me about how he likes some of my interviews and everything, so we had a bit of a rapport. I'm feeling kind of comfortable. And I'm talking to Mike, and you got to understand where we are. We're at his gym inside of the boxing ring, right? So, and we're sitting about as far as me and you are in chairs inside the boxing ring. I have, armed security, but he's outside the ring, right? This is just me and Mike face to face. So I'm talking to Mike and, it's all cool, real cool conversation. And I'm like, Mike talks about these street guys that he really fucks with, like, Von Zip and so forth and so forth. So I was like, well, Mike, how is it that you, being a multimillionaire, has always been kind of like attracted to these street guys? Mike was like, what do you mean attracted? Here you are, this multimillionaire, and, it seems like you've always been attracted to the guys that are still in the streets to a certain degree. Do you think that's a fair statement?
You think I'm attracted to them?
Well, not attracted to them, but I mean, you like having them around. You're friends with them and you maintain
I like
this.
having them around?
I'm just asking.
You think I'm friends? What do you think? You think I like having them around?
And there was just that moment. There was that moment of actual real fear where I'm like, shit, I probably should not have used that term. There's so many other words I could have used except for that. And here I am. You could see him. He's getting kind of a little angry, right? And I'm like, my security ain't going to make it in time. He's going to get in. He's going to get a few in. And, you and I, somewhat of a similar age, like, we grew up with Mike Tyson being the baddest man, period. This is the dude that come in, knock you out in 32 seconds and go and chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, later on, he started to lose, but still, like, we still remember that crazy, like, that to us has been, to me, that was like the toughest man in the world, like Mike Tyson, the most fearsome guy. So here I am with him, and I'm like going like, all right. And I managed to like sort of, that's not what I meant. I was just meaning that, you really spoke highly of this dude, whatever. And Mike kind of snapped out of it and we went back and did the rest of our interview. But I'm like thinking, I'm watching this video and I'm like, what sane person would keep aggravating Mike like over and over again? The guy kept fucking with him. They kept like, rah, 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 all up in his ear.
Somebody who wants to, who's trying to go viral. Who knows? That's why I said like stuff, like I look at it like, he's playing to the camera, so it's like, did he tell his friend, yo, put the camera on? Like, you see the guy messing with the camera, then going, so it's like, Well,
he filed a lawsuit.
Who, Mike?
No, the guy who got beat up. He's suing Mike.
Didn't he hit Mike first?
No, I think he threw some water on him or something.
Okay, same thing.
I think it's bullshit. I think that, he kept aggravating him.
But that should be like, there's like certain like loopholes in law that just causes for stuff like this. Like if you are the aggravator, you cannot sue. You're just going to lose. It's just like being rear-ended. The person who rear-ends you, he can't win.
Yeah, they're always at fault.
They're always at fault.
Doesn't matter if you slammed on your brakes or whatever.
They're always at fault.
Their fault, yeah.
So same thing with this. You aggravating him, you're doing it for a reason.
Right.
Whatever that reason.
Except that aggravation is not against the law. Putting hands on somebody is.